So as you may recall, as part of my 2022 resolutions, the top one there, I want to complete the last 4 Enterprise aircraft. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because of the situation with the UH-2C. That kit is yet to be released by ClearProp, and you may recall I bought this, which was the UH-2AB from ClearProp. Well, look where it's made. So I've been in touch with Kenny at HLI, and he has a contact with them, and he hasn't been able to get a hold of them, which is scary. So the whole UH-2C is up in the air, pending the Ukraine situation, and just yet another reason why I support the Ukrainian people in their fight for freedom. That being said, I need to get back to this. So, and I'm a little tired of scratch building, so I think I'm gonna do the A-3 Skywarriors, which should be out of the box, hopefully, and there they are right there. So they're both Hasegawa Kits, yay! Which, having just done the egg planes, I can tell you are just so awesome. Oh, and by the way, I don't think you've seen these since I made the nameplates, but I made nameplates for each of them, similar to what I did on the Hornet down there for the contest. So I did a very similar thing and made nameplates for each. So the next 2 are the EKA 3B Skywarrior for the VAW-13 Zappers, and the KA 3B Skywarrior of VAH-2 Royal Rampants. And so those 2 models will make that. And then the other thing I wanted to share, a few people on some of the videos of the former builds have said, hey, how'd you come up with this idea, so on and so forth. Basically, what prompted this was when I built my Thunderbirds. You see a F4 Phantom there, and the Blue Angels and F4 Phantom there. When I was researching those out of the Bert Kinsey Detail and Scale reference book, there was this photo in there, and I was like, oh, that's very cool, and I saw that, and I'm like, you know, that would be neat. It's the USS Enterprise, and I knew that they made that kit. It would be cool if I could like recreate that. And then the idea just kept growing and growing, and then I got the idea of doing not only the ship, once Starfighter Decals released this set of the 1968 Air Wing 9, I looked at that and I'm like, that is so cool. I should build all of them in 1-72. And so that's kind of what I proceeded to do, and then collected all the kits to do it and all the decals. And then the other cool thing about Starfighter Decals is it's a really great company. They make, you know, tons and tons of decals, and they're high quality. But they also, so I reached out to them after researching all the aftermarket kits and everything, and said, hey, you know, here's a list of what I don't have decal-wise. I know you have the artwork because, you know, you created the 1-720s. Can you blow those up to 1-72? And boom, they did. Now, this is a copy of the original that he sent. But you can see everything's in here that I needed. And if you've watched the videos over the years, you've seen me use various sections of this. And so, speak of the devil, for the A3s, so here's the A3s. That's one set with the 1-720s, and then that's the other one with the 1-720s. And then here's for the CAG, the carrier on deck, the COD, and then I think Oh, and then I think you've seen these in a previous video. These are for the helicopter. So yeah, so that's how this kind of all came about. I don't think it said the year here. And so I'm like, okay, well, I can see, you know, who the squadrons are. I determined that, you know, those were from Carrier Air Wing 9. And so I researched, knowing this was the Enterprise. And again, this is the early days of the internet. And so then this gave me all the squadrons, tail code numbers, their nose numbers, tail code numbers, things of that nature. And then I started researching, so you can see in this box here, Carrier Air Wing 9 color markings and references. And I had everybody listed, all the planes and helicopters and stuff listed, and I was starting to collect all the stuff. So I can know what they looked like and try to get as historically accurate as possible. And then kind of the silver bullet, so to speak, was I then found out on the internet this GRS videos, and this nonprofit company, GRS stands for Gary R. Schreffler, I believe his last name is, and he served on the USS Midway as a rescue diver. And so he served on helicopters. And anyway, he has this nonprofit, and he has veterans send in, you know, any of their video that they have, and he turns it into DVDs. And so this is, you know, like Super 8 video from 1968 of actual crew members on that cruise. And literally every aircraft in detail from like multiple angles. So it's a modeler's dream. And like I said, it's a website. They have numerous ships and planes and so on. So this was like the silver bullet that, okay, now I could get super accurate. And if you've seen my videos of the builds, and you'll see even behind there, I've printed some of them out. So, you know, that's the type of, and you know, that's a still shot, right? So I freeze frame on the video to get that still shot, and then I can zoom in on the still shot at my Fancy. So yeah. And then the one other kind of definitive reference that I used was they also, so that's the kind of the center page or centerfold, if you will, of the 1968 cruise book, which is like the yearbook, you know, your high school yearbook for that cruise, that year cruise. So for instance, these two vigilantes are those two right there. And that's actually the opening page. That's the first day of that cruise, and over a letter from the Admiral. And then sure enough, I found almost the identical kind of situation with those same two planes sitting together in the GRS video. So I was kind of able to cross-reference, so to speak. And then by the way, that's, you know, that original photo that inspired me, you know, is that actual kit. And then lastly, so when the time comes, I'll also use the GRS video because they, you know, guys were like perched up in here taking video of the whole deck for the final placement. So obviously not all these planes are going to be on the deck. And so some will be down in the hangar deck back there, and some just won't be on the model. But yeah, so I'm going to use that GRS video to actually inform placement of the final placement of all the planes and vehicles on the deck as well. Next on the list is the Skywarriors, and there's their spot on the shelves waiting for them. So those are the next videos that you'll see. As always, thanks for watching and happy modeling.